What if you never get there? Not because you didn't try, but because the system never taught you how. And now, even though you're doing everything right, you still feel behind. That quiet fear, the one you don't say out loud, I had it too. And this video is the one I wish I had when that fear first showed up. Most people don't talk about the fear that comes with setting a big goal, especially when the goal is to be free. Because when you choose financial independence, especially through your career, you're not just chasing success, you're leaving the herd. And that's not just unpopular, it's lonely. And sometimes terrifying. I didn't quit my job. I didn't go viral. I didn't launch a unicorn startup. But I did reach financial independence. And what I didn't expect was how painful it would feel on the way there. This video is about the real cost of choosing financial independence and why it's still worth it. The dominant mindset today is don't try too hard. Blend in. Stay modest. Do good work and the system will reward you. Set your sights too high. You'll burn out. You'll lose people. You'll make it weird. And if you do want more, well, you better start a business, quit your job, take massive risks, and hope for the best. But there's an unspoken rule under all of it. Stay close to the herd. That's where it's safe. And that works until one day it doesn't. Until one day you realize the herd isn't moving fast enough or far enough. And that's when the anxiety starts. Wanting more doesn't make you wrong. It means you're waking up. For me, it started in a crowded assembly hall during teacher training in London. The first thing they told us, teaching is an honorable profession. You'll never be rich, but it's honorable. I remember sitting there, feeling the ground shift beneath me. Like someone had handed me a script for a life I couldn't live. Because deep down, I already knew I didn't fit into the system. Not the bureaucracy, not the rules, not the rhythm. And worse, I wasn't even sure I could survive in it. I had anxiety every day, just trying to show up. Then I'd walk through London's nicer neighborhoods, and I'd feel it again, this gut punch realization. If I stay on this path, I will never be able to provide this kind of life for my future family. The fear wasn't just emotional, it was existential. I was staring down a future where I'd rent forever, where I'd be one missing paycheck away from disaster, where I'd always owe someone just to exist. And everyone around me seemed okay with that. Relaxed even. But for me, that wasn't just uncomfortable. It was unacceptable. Here's the thing. I never questioned the goal of financial independence. What I questioned was whether I'd make it. Because failure, I didn't mean trying again in 5 years. It meant slavery. Not metaphorically, but generationally. I had this deeply rooted, almost Old Testament view of the world. If I mess this up, even once, I won't just pay the price. My kids will, and their kids. That belief created an incredible drive, but also a constant gnawing fear. What I didn't know then was that this exact pressure would later open doors I never imagined to roles at Google, managing global teams and hitting financial independence years ahead of schedule. But at the time, I couldn't see any of that. Just the next step, the next risk, the next mile in the dark. It wasn't ego driving me, it was survival. If that's landing and you've ever felt the weight of needing to get this right, even if no one around you understands why, hit like and subscribe. Let's keep going. See, the thing no one tells you about the path to financial independence is this. It's not just hard, it's isolating. Before I started making money, I had everything in common with everyone. There was community in the struggle. We shared our complaints, our limitations, our Friday night beers. But once I started accelerating, that camaraderie faded. People started resenting the pace I was moving. Close relationship began to crack. Some even tried to sabotage me, not out of malice, but out of discomfort. Because when you refuse to settle, you reflect something uncomfortable back at the people who do. So they are challenging you like, why would you even try so hard? Why don't you just relax? Sometimes the price of freedom is walking alone. After teacher training, I tried launching a coaching business. And while I was passionate about helping others, I had a problem. I hadn't built anything real yet. It felt fake, like I was offering success I hadn't earned. So I pivoted. Eventually, I found my way into a job at a software scale-up company, a random hire in a role that I wasn't qualified for. $40,000 a year, 2014, total wildcard. But I brought something else, a deep understanding of lead generation and a vision for how to scale it. Instead of just doing cold outbound like most people, I started building inbound systems, machines that attracted demand. And I saw something others didn't. There was a talent gap, especially in Europe, for people who could do this at scale. So I positioned myself there, not just as someone who could get leads, but as someone who could build the system that produced them. And that's when things started compounding. Here is the part that I didn't see coming. Once I had the goal of financial independence, once I did the internal work to position myself clearly, once I focused on outcomes that actually moved the needle, opportunities started showing up. Like dream job level opportunities. Former colleagues reached out, people I'd never met, offering roles I hadn't even applied for. That's how I landed Google, managing global teams from Europe with Bay Area level compensation. I didn't get lucky, I got ready. And then the right doors opened. When you position yourself with clarity, the market finds you. And every decision, every risk, every repositioning was filtered through one goal: to reach financial independence without gambling on a miracle. What made the difference, though, wasn't just tactics, it was spiritual release. Early on, I was drowning in fear. The anxiety was so intense I couldn't sleep. I even had moments of suicidal ideation. But something shifted through deep prayer and what I can only describe as spiritual therapy. The fear didn't vanish, but it stopped owning me. I stopped obsessing about failure and started focusing on the future I wanted to build, not the one I was terrified to end up in. And that internal release gave me the emotional bandwidth to create, not just to react. So if you felt it too, that tension between staying close to comfort and walking toward freedom alone, know this: you're not crazy. You're not arrogant. You're not broken. You're just waking up. This channel is for you, the one who wants leverage, freedom, and clarity. Not in theory, but in practice. It's not about hacks or hustle. It's about building real wealth inside the system and exiting on your terms. You don't need to burn everything down. You just need to stop playing the game by the rules that were never built for you. Subscribe if you're ready to use your job as leverage, not as a life sentence. And watch the next video. Corporate job equals my exit plan. In that video, I walk through how I reached financial independence, not by quitting, but by using my corporate career as a strategic platform to build wealth and freedom. You'll see the full framework that made this journey possible. I'll see you there.